Oh yeah! Hello everybody! Can anyone identify this guitar? The owner says it has to be some Czech-made guitar, Archtop guitar from the 50s, 60s maybe. I really don't know. It has no logo. There is just a big puddle of super glue. It's here because it's buzzing, and it's buzzing everywhere. Check the action. It's about 1.5 millimeter and a 10th fret and 1.5 on 10th fret here and a deep E. So let's turn this higher. There's a nicely made shallow pickup system. Looks like a custom made pickguard holder out of aluminum. I think so. It has a 0 fret. All the way. Alright, there's a truss rod. The strings are 10th, I think. So the neck is pretty straight. I think I might put on some 12th flat wound strings, and they're heavy enough that they maybe can a little bit pull on the neck, so we get some relief around here. The bridge looks worn out. If you try to, the string should lay on a sharp edge, kind of like sharp edge. So there is no buzzing behind or before the break angle. There's also the 0 fret. If you think you should cut the nut slots just like the guitar hasn't a 0 fret, it will make some problems. First problem is the string will buzz on the 0 fret because it's bedded in here. There is also a problem with the break angle. You can see that it's bedded in here and then here on the nut. They feel that they are stuck. You can tell by when you try to tune it and the string is going up just in steps. I noticed that there is a gap at the heel. These guitars don't have, as usual, dovetail joints. They're just the neck is just straight away right through and glued in like the heel. So I may put some super thin CA glue in it. Alright, let's do it. To the people who are doing this, we hate you. There's no reason for doing that. If you string up at the post properly, you don't need to come in and get inside, come out and get inside the hole. I used to locate the bridge with this simple trick. I noticed that the pickguard has this little metal, it's housed inside the bridge in a hole right here. What a beautiful piece of ebony. It's kind of, maybe it's maple or it's beech. It can be beech because of the dots this would usually have. I have to properly sand it that it sits well on the top of the Archtop. I used to protect the tailpiece with this simple trick. When it bangs on the top, it doesn't harm anything. Let's dress the frets. I tried to find the high spots and I noticed they are all bumpy. There is one high fret after the other. Every second is high or low. Let's level them and dress them. Don't forget to mask off the fingerboard, because when you polish at the end of fret dressing, you will get a lot of metal dirt and you will rub it into the wood and maybe harm the fretboard. Starting with the leveling file, just to see should mask off, pick up. The fretboard at this point is so thin that you can't mount the pickup any lower. They're made of brass. So I put it on some blue marker to see where I'm filing. But now I will take my old, trusty and true level to make all the frets straight and see where the blue marker paint is removed. It's all in the middle. As you can see, there is no color left in the middle of the fretboard, but at the ends it is. So looks like the neck is built in an overbow, so the strings will do the job. Or it happened like this during 70 years. Put it on blue again. Let's level it. And the 0 fret, I can't make a good way for sanding with the level. You don't want to do it like this. You don't want to do it like this. You want to sand all the frets together. There's really a big hump in the middle. Blue is left everywhere until the 14th fret. That's good because you want to make a fall off. Now the frets are flat, so we need to dress it to a dome, so the fret doesn't start to lay on the fret at this edge. We want to lay it on the very middle of the fret. And because these frets were pretty low, these are vintage frets, they are all like this. We can't use this file. It has a cutting groove right here. They are too deep to touch, so we need to make it by hand with a grounded edge file. The masking is also good when you file the edges like this, because you don't want to dig into the fretboard with a sharp edge. Because the frets are so low here, I can't use the rounded up edge on the fret file. I have to take the other cleared edge, and it's a bit sharper. So the paper really protects the fingerboard. I'm gonna shoot the edges with my super fancy jig I made. Now I can sand it and polish it. I would say that Tool Fruit is just a genius. He's a pure master. If you ever wonder about my English, I'm one of the Oompa Loompas. I speak Oompa Loompa English. No, I'm Austrian. I filed the fret ends, and now I'm gonna wet sand against the direction of the file marks. So I will sand like this, or rather like this in an angle. You see how dirty it gets? Don't wanna get that stuff into your fretboard. Now I will polish the frets with some chrome polish. Yeah, you see how dirty it is? It's black. Now we're gonna file down the saddles a little bit, because the nut is really here just to lead the string at the right direction to the fingerboard. I will take this flesh cut saw to start it, because it's really high up there. I want it above. Now I will take some key files to finish it. See why I put on the sticky tape? It would be all in the headstock. You also want to file the grooves the way the string will go. So not straight, just with a little angle to the tuning post. Just a little bit. The 0 fret. Just a little bit. Guess it also don't need to be that high. This one is ebony. You can see right here that these two pieces are barely touching, so the string wants to stuck inside of the groove, and this will cause a lot of tuning problems. Now the nut is shaped and sanded and ready to oil. Because it's ebony, it will look great when it's oiled. Let's get off the tape of the fretboard. I love this. Again, used low-tech tape. It's still a bit dirt on it, but that's no problem. It would wash off actually when cleaning the guitar, so. And get a pretty clean fretboard. Beautiful polished brass frets. Never worked with them before. They are pretty soft, so you do a lot of progress just within minutes. Before we oil the fretboard, we will fit the bridge to the top by sanding. I'm doing this by sticking some sandpaper 120 grit to the top, so I can match the contour of the top of the soundboard. I also had to get rid of the pickguard, and one did a hell of a job here. He just piled out for the holes for about the pickup, and also made a little threaded hole to mount the pickguard. Great job. First lay a low tack and then some stronger tape. I marked myself where the bridge is in position, so I can do it around right there. You don't want to rock, you want to sit it on, and now we made a progress in the middle. Make some pencil stripes so I can see where I'm sanding. Guess everybody knows about this little trick. Precise about the arch on the bridge, because when the top is loaded with the strings, the top will deform a little bit. You it should, because it wants to vibrate. And it's a little flexibility. They're pretty gone. Some more on this side. This will be enough. Because that cable is so long, I will put some cable. I don't know the name for it, but you got the idea. Before we continue and string the guitar up, oil the fretboard and string the guitar, I want to fill this little gap. Actually, you don't want to use super glue on a neck joint, but because of the straight tenon, it may be possible to get it again out. You have a lot of leeway on the bridge, you can lower it, so there is actually no reason to get the neck out anytime. That's actually enough. It's invisible and it just fills a little bit the gap and it makes me happier. There is some of the binding missing. I will put in some cream binding and try to color it. It won't harm anything, but it's also good practice. Glued it in, filled it with super glue, and now trim it to size and color it. Yeah, already there. Just want to break up the corner a little bit. Looks good. Now let's color it. What do we take? This looks good. Let's try it. Oh yeah. That matches really well. So let's take some darker brown. I used to take browns on some of the... This is just like a Cremona burst. It looks like that. It's nitro. Let's color just the lip of the painting, the top of the binding. It's good. Look at it from this side. It's a little bit dirty here. I don't want to scrape it off because of the lacquer. It's so beautifully aged, clear lacquer. So I will leave it like this because it's in a overall great played condition. Let's oil the fingerboard. I will use Dunlop lemon oil. I used weapon oil a lot. I like it. I like how it smells and how it stays. Ooh. This is great. Look at the nut. How it shines. Let's soak it in a little bit and then wipe it off. Because I missed the metal piece, it's just a stud like this, but it was really soft and it was deformed anyway and too short. I want to drill a hole with 1.5 millimeters where this really soft, it's just like soldering. It was soft as solder. Oh, works really fine. Didn't expect that because the drill is so thin. I want to break it. It's deep enough. I already drilled the hole through the bridge, so you can slip the bridge if needed without working on that holder again. Just take one of these and really hard stuff. I will heat it up a little bit with some simple lighter. Just a little bit soften the pickguard material and I hope it slips in. And it does really well. Great. See? Just cleaned up the oil just to clean the guitar. Taking some naphtha, it's basically lighter fluid from the Zippo. It's the same, people like to use it. And then I just put on some light polish to clean the guitar. But now I will I will try to lubricate the old tuners with some wax. Just smear it onto, and it really turns a lot better. As I said, just a quick clean. You play the guitar and you sweat. You're sweating. There will be some. It can be abrasive. Sweat can be abrasive, especially to nitro. Look at these beautiful cracks. Polish it out by hand. Just quick clean. I don't want to get off all of the patina because I like it, and I think the owner likes it too. It's the vibe you get from old guitars. This is the stuff why this guitar feels, sounds and plays a lot better than new guitars, to my opinion. What do you guys think of this? These deep grooves and these flat areas. I mean, if I would make it a little bit tippier, I would have to color it again, and this inside looks like plastic, an inlay, and I would really like to cut in a fret slot and put on the fret right here. I will talk with the owner about it. If he admitted that this would be a better solution like this, no, I will do it. Yep, I will do it. It will be better. I want to make this job, yeah. I set it up the depth stop for the fret tang, and now I can cut. I will cut straight on the bridge line. Slippery. Yeah, it's plastic. It's 100% plastic. You don't want a bridge. Smells like Bakelite. I think this is the right word in English. Bakelite. It was the first plastic ever made, I heard. I worked on piano keys and they smell exactly the same. I used to take piano keys from old pianos to make some inlays for fretboards or headstocks. Oh, it holds in the soft plastic, the fret wire. I think I will flatten it out just a little bit. Taking my block plane. I want to flatten it out at some spaces. I think we can bang it in. I need to flatten it so it hits the wood and it holds way better. Yep, I have to color it. Let's take some wood stain, black one, and you don't want to get it on your fingers because it won't go away. May oil it after I pounded the fret in. Take some CA. Fix the fret better in this soft plastic. Let's try it again. I want to get it in and hit it with the accelerator. I will file the bridge slots and then locate them all out so they are all in the right position. You actually have the chance to intonate it by filing the rounded sides from to this side and to this edge, and the unwound strings to the edge near the tailpiece. Really want to round off all the edges because you don't want to break the strings. The last way was to string it up, tune it, and put the bridge in the right position. The frets are shiny and beautiful. The pickguard, the stud right here, is really stable. It looks really fine. The bridge, I love how it came out. I like the idea of having fret wire on the bridge like the Hofner guitars used to have. I rounded up. You can see the old plastic just a little bit. Yeah, I'm really pleased how it came out. So let's hear how it sounds.